Hey everyone, what's up? It's Chris. I am back with more Stoneforge Mystic based modern brews, hoping to figure out where you want to be in this new format, which is basically going to change completely. No one really knows what's going on. So this is what we're doing. This is like a Naya value mid-range deck, with the intention being that whatever fair decks we come up against, we should just overpower by having a better fair plan, and we are pretty much giving up the combo matchups. We're like maybe okay against Infect because we have a few bolts if we draw them, but we're basically a dog against a lot of things. But we're going to absolutely go toe-to-toe with the best fair decks, which I'm assuming will dominate the format now with the banning of looting and the unbanning of Mystic. So this is the plan. So we're playing 22 lands, including plenty of basics. We're playing 4 Noble Hierarchs as well for mana. And then we've got a package, like a selection of difficult to answer creatures, or creatures that do annoying things, like Ooze's mild graveyard hate. Crater Maker is in because it can deal with a Batterskull or whatever. Night of Autumn for the same reason. It's just flexible, versatile. Voice, again, just a pain in the arse. I'm assuming blue decks are getting better, which probably means Voice is getting better. Eternal Witness and Seasoned Pyromancer to create 2-for-1s and value and whatnot. We've got some removal. I think Fiery Justice is chronically underplayed because Naya generally doesn't see play outside of Zoo, and it's not really a Zoo card. But hopefully get some sweet Fiery Justice action going on. Non-creature threats, we've got 4 Wrenn and 6, 1 Blood Moon, and then we've got the 4 Nahiri, the Harbinger, and 1 Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn package, as like a way to steal games. And we've also got, obviously, the Stoneforge package, which I would have grouped in with the creatures, but I wanted you to be able to see everything. So we've got 4 Stoneforges, Batterskull, Sword of Fire and Ice, and a Sword of Feast and Famine. So we can give one of our beaters, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like relevant protection from whatever we're up against, unless they happen to be a white deck. We haven't got anything that gives pro-white. Made me think I might want Sword of War and Peace, because pro-white and red plays around the 2 most popular removal spells, but War and Peace is generally a naff sword compared to these 2 in terms of triggers and abilities. The sideboard is mostly narrow, angry hate cards like Rest in Peace, Stony, Choke, Blood Moon. And then I've got 1 Selfless Spirit and 2 Direfleet Daredevils as creatures, and additional Fiery Justice as removal, and 2 Wear Tears as well. So it's a bit of a brew, bit of a pile. Other cards that I wanted to try but didn't end up finding slots for: Bloodbraid Elf, Tireless Tracker. Loads of, honestly, like, there's loads of good cards available to this deck that I didn't put in, but we are going to give it a go. Restoration Angel, that's another one. But yeah, this is what I've settled on. We are going to give it a whirl. We're going to try and do a league. And honestly, I think I'm happy with like 2 wins. I would consider that to be a bit of a result. I'm not expecting to set the world alight, but well, I think the deck has potential. I think, like I said, I think we'll win fair matchups. I think we'll be very good against Burn because we've got 2 Helixes in the main, as well as Scavenging Ooze, and the Stoneforge package is amazing against Burn because Batterskull is such a pain in the arse for them. And I'm assuming Burn, because Burn was good before Hogak got banned. Burn is usually like a really safe place to be, so when the meta's up in the air, people often play Burn. I'm assuming Burn is good. I'm assuming Red Prowess and Red Phoenix are still... Well, Red Phoenix might not be good, but Red Prowess is still good. So there's a non-zero chance we get paired with acceptable matchups. There's also a chance we get paired against Tron, don't see our Blood Moons at all, and get absolutely obliterated. So there is that. I can't imagine our Tron matchup is good. I assume we'd get beaten by most combo decks. And as always on this stream, there is going to be a non-zero amount of games where we get beaten by my skill level and my ability to use the interface. One or the other usually bites us. So there's that to look forward to. What's going on? I would like to play. This is like... This isn't great, but I think I keep it still. I mean, the Emrakul is basically a mulligan, but I think I would, if you take the Emrakul out, I would keep that 6, is my thinking. So let's try and figure out what we're up against. Ah, perfect. Just as we planned. Nahiri, nice. Nahiri's great. So we can land Nahiri next turn. Perfect. They always have it. I wonder if this is regular Tron or Eldrazi Tron. Well, we're just going to keep going about making our, making our best attempt at executing our game plan. Oops. Oh, hang on. Sequencing Chris. Now we plus Nahiri. So, stating the obvious, the best thing we can find is probably Blood Moon. Closely followed by anything at all that answers Karn. Like, I guess a Bolt. A Bolt will answer Karn, sort of. I assume they just play... They probably have a Planeswalker like a Karn or... like Oh, I'd love a Wormcoil Engine. We can handle that. Good news is post-side we get 2 more Blood Moons, I think. I think I put 2 in. And, like, Stonies, maybe. I don't know if... I'm never 100% Stony is good enough against Tron. I think if they're the version with like 8 chromatic pieces, then it is. Opponent seems unsure, which is... Maybe it's not Karn. Maybe it's a Ballista. Wormcoil, okay, fine. Yeah, that's fine. We just need to protect Nahiri for 1 turn. Okay. Okay, do your worst, opponent. Please don't hurt my precious Nahiri. I think, obviously Ugin is lights out. Ugin's always lights out. It's not an Ugin. I don't think they can cast Ugin from here. Oh, if they get Tower, they can. That's 8 still. Perfect. Good. Good. Happy with that. Don't feel conned at all. I'll bring in the Stonies. I'll bring in Selfless Spirit. Good against Oblivion Stone. And I have to decide about Wear Tear. God, Crater Maker's looking good. Maybe I should have brought in more. Shouldn't have played more than one Crater Maker. Right, what's bad against Tron? Durdle, I guess, is bad. So stuff like Pyromancer and Witness and things that don't just win. Ooze, maybe. Well, if I'm bringing in Stonies, it makes sense to just... Like, Batterskull is kind of okay because it's still a 4/4. But not being able to equip these is really bad. I'm going to do this. I'm just debating now whether I want Fiery Justice as another way to kill Planeswalkers. Probably not. Let's try this. I would like to play first. I just want to see a relevant card, that's all. A Blood Moon, a Stony, anything like that. It is of note that we were about to win the game in match 1 had they not had exactly Ugin, of which they play like 2. So we made a decent clock and were like mildly disruptive. We could have been more disruptive. Well, we have to keep this on a 4. And we can't really afford to sack lands. I don't see any way we win this game on a 4. Well, the way we win this game is one of our next 2 draw steps is Blood Moon. Obviously, in retrospect, the 7 was an awful lot better than this, but I still think when you've got London Mulligan and you've got cards as good as Blood Moon, you have to try and find them. We've got 3 copies. They won't care at all about that, nor should they. Good. Well, we're letting them know they're in a fight. I'm going to hit them for 2 and then concede when they cast a Khan. Or at least I assume that's what's going to happen. We know they've got Tron. They kept on 7. They don't not have a threat. Perfect. Well, that was nice. Always a pleasure to play against Tron. I don't mind it too much. I'm wondering whether this Naya deck needs Field of Ruins. Field of Ruin with Ren and 6 is quite fun. Maybe just Ghost Quarter Ren and 6. But if we're doing that, then you want maybe like a Knight of the Reliquary package to find it and stuff, and I'd have to look at the whole deck, but it's possible that that's a thing. Don't know what's going on with this today. Keeps doing that, but whatever. Opponent just isn't paying attention. It doesn't take that long to click yes, I want to play first. This hand looks lovely. We can interact, we can present threats. We have a 2 for 1. We have a potential like several for 1. This hand is up my street. Let's see what we're playing against. Basic Island Go. That is like the least committal thing I've ever seen in my life. We're on the Temple Garden plan. I suspect if Basic Island means... oh, Mill. I don't know what is with... Like, I've played against Mill a fair bit in the last couple of days. I don't know what is with this. On the plus side, my Eternal Witness is looking fucking awesome. And they milled a Seasoned Pyromancer, so the joke is on them. We win. I'm of course kidding, but... Let's see what they've got. See if they're on like a Mesmeric Orb plan or a Manic Scribe or something. The Crab. Okay, you got me. I have to decide whether I can be bothered to kill that crab yet. Or do I need to make a threat and then kill the crab? Which I think is the plan. What is a bigger clock? Probably Feast and Famine, because it just lets me vomit my stuff down, and my hand is very good at like generating creatures to cast. So the reason I did it that way was like I wanted to use all my fetching on the same turn when I didn't think they had an archive trap. One good thing about our mill matchup is as long as we don't draw it, Emrakul will force them to shuffle our whole graveyard back in, which will be superb. I wonder if they're mono blue. Probably just another archive trap. Visions, okay. They appear to be light on mana, which is nice. Well, let's kill that thing. And 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that's 20, but then I can get it back with Ren and 6, so we'll go down to 19 again. I think I just need to make the sword and start beating them. Like, I can't be too scared because I've got the Emrakul. I just need to not draw Emrakul and then like, they won't probably expect it because they haven't milled a Nahiri yet. I think a lot of people know that Nahiri often comes with Emrakul, but you can, like, Nahiri's a good enough card to play on her own merits. So we just got the crab is back. So we just got the Visions of Beyond to worry about. I wonder if they've run that out without a land. No, they haven't. So their normal Dimir mill, pretty much the known quantity. Know what opponent's doing. I should get priority here. Get in for 4, hopefully. Usually they only play Fatal Push, so if it was going to die, it would have died when I tried to equip. So we get our mana back, which is lovely. They have to discard a card when they're already a touch pinched. We're just going to keep going with the threats. Okay. Well, we've still fortunately not drawn our Emrakul. I think next turn I'd probably have to Eternal Witness a Nahiri so we can discard Emrakul if we draw it. They draw 3, but they have no blue mana. How much pressure can we put them on? We're attacking for 5, which isn't a ton. Oh, that is like, that must be a kick in the teeth for opponent when your blue mana comes in tapped because of your stupid Field of Ruin. So we just want to do stuff pre-combat to use our mana. Let's do this. Get back that Nahiri, hopefully they don't surgical it. These decks do normally play main deck surgical. And then I'm going to plus Nahiri for nothing because there's too much risk. Like if I draw Emrakul, I don't really want to draw cards unnecessarily. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we don't quite have lethal next turn. Oh, we do if we can If we draw a burn spell and we can activate Ren in 6, we do. They discard a Merchant Scroll, fair enough. We've got 25 cards in library. I don't want to draw that Emrakul. Please, God, don't let me draw the Emrakul. Well, I can make sure I don't draw Emrakul next turn this way, assuming they don't have some fancy way to make me shuffle, which they probably do. I mean, they've got the Field of Ruin at the very least, but I doubt that's what they care about right now. Sure, put the Helix on top in case we actually do get to draw the chosen card. Then we have the Lethals. They draw 3. I don't know why I put that on top. We're clearly going to get milled. That's not how this works, Chris. Like, you don't draw the card that's on the top because it goes in the graveyard. Come on, mate. You're better than that. Come on, Chris. God, can you imagine how good I'd be at Magic if I wasn't a complete moron? It's definitely holding me back. Come on, opponent. Hell's Teeth. They haven't hit the Emrakul yet. And the Orb. Well, we're going to untap a lot of things. Don't draw it. Okay. Okay, well. I cast this pre-combat, don't I? That makes sense to me. And then do this, put them to, is it, put them to 4? If I've done the, yeah. We untap everything land-wise, so we don't get milled as badly. Oh shit, that's not how it works. I'm an idiot. Thank God. Please don't have surgical. Okay, nice. Good. Cool. I think the only way we lost that game was if they could surgical the Emrakul with the trigger on the stack. But it was just stressful how far down it was. I would have loved to have got there with like 10 cards left for a safety net. Okay, opponent's super dead. Do I need Wear Tear? Do I need any of this? Is any of this good? Oh, doesn't that deck make you think about stuff strangely? Direfleet Daredevil is quite funny with Visions of Beyond. I can make a 2-1 and draw 3 for 3. It should definitely not be doing sideboarding based on comedy. I guess Wear Tear's got to be worth it. Has it? I don't know. Gaining life doesn't seem important. But I'm going to keep Helix in because we need removal. Do I want more Blood Moons? I probably do. Is Blood Moon better than Choke is a question. I think quite a lot of their deck is non-island blue sources like Dark Slick Shores and Creeping Tar Pits. Maybe they have Tar Pits? I'm not sure. Obviously, Emrakul is the best card. I'm not sure I do want Blood Moons. They've got enough basics plus fields to find more basics that, unless I get it down really early, it looks real bad. I'm going to try that. But I'm not confident. Both in terms of the sideboarding and in terms of winning this game. Although I have to assume that Emrakul is a nightmare for them. This is good. We can bolt a crab and then play a Wrenn and 6. And those are things that I like doing. This is, of course, operating under the assumption that they have crabs. Which is funny because it's rude. Genital problems and stuff. Very funny, Chris. Please have crabs. Yay! That's not what I meant to click. Probably getting archive trapped. Maybe not. Daredevil is great at some point. Once we have like 20 cards in presumably my graveyard. Possibly both. They do mill themselves pretty hard. The Daredevil's looking real good. Ah, Buku the Crab. Well, we're just making a Wrenn and 6, aren't we? Let's not pretend we have any clever plays. Now what? I mean, now I have to use my brain, and that's sad. One thing that's crossed my mind is that I can plus Wrenn and 6 here for value, minus it on the crab next turn, then play another Wrenn and 6 and minus that to kill said crab. It's not horrible. Depends on how key the crab appears to be. Do you really want to surgical my land's opponent? So yeah, that's something I'm currently considering, is like cashing in the first Wrenn, because I've got the second one and it's basically a dead card. Although with that said, the Nahiri makes dead cards good because they go away. The Field of Ruin is like a mild incentive to do this. Mill 10. Okay. I presume that's their whole turn. They don't have anything for one colourless. keep the new one. Dead crab. Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's a number down there which just tells me. Yeah, 19, so we're one card off of if they put a Visions of Beyond in their graveyard, Direfleet Daredevil being very funny. Although, is drawing 3 even good, or am I just playing into their hands? That's a question. Aha! We find out if they have Surgical. They only have 2 cards, but they appear to have Surgical. Okay, so we know what's going on now. It's us versus us with 17 cards versus them with 50 and 1. Yeah, fine. You got all my Emrakuls. I'm wondering whether I need to Direfleet Daredevil Surgical there. Oh. What the fuck happened? Oh, they didn't... Right, they shame scooped because they didn't take the one out of my graveyard. That's hilarious. And very unrealistic. Like, that doesn't happen in paper. So that's one of the things that pisses me off about trying to test on Modo is, like, for all we know, that was going to a game 3 and it could have been really close. So... Well, we won one. Pretty good for Naya Pile. Bear with me one moment. Right, sorry about that. Just a quick phone call about work. No big deal. Magic's more important anyway. Another perfect hand. This deck feels really good sometimes. If we get to go turn 1 Noble, untap with it, turn 2 Stoneforge plus bolt something, that's like... That is a serious start. I mean, these 3 cards are the reasons to be these colours, I guess, and maybe Wrenn and 6. And we're on the play because we're really smart. Don't think it matters. We're probably paying some amount of life to have that land untapped at some point. I just don't want to play against Mill again. Anything else? This regular old burn, possibly. I'm going to get the default Batterskull, not knowing too much about what's going on. Arid Mesa implies that they are at least one of red or white, but it doesn't mean both. Okay, that's a burn opponent that doesn't like Batterskull. Take that. Like maybe Selfless Spirit. Maybe Direfleet Daredevil. Don't need Feast and Famine. Let's do that. 2 Direfleet Daredevils in for Feast and Famine and a Blood Moon. Well, we need to just get another draw exactly like that. That was a turn 2 win. This draw is... I mean, obviously we need green mana, but I think I still keep it because of these 3 cards. It's awkward. Like, 2 lands is normally good to go in this deck. Wow. Not what I thought. So they did a good scoop to make me miss sideboard. So they are obviously whatever the newest flavour of graveyard dredge stuff is. I'll take one. And we are not actually very well set up for that. So, very clever concession from the opponent. They've been to Bloodghast. They probably now play a land. And honestly, Feast and Famine would have been really good. So, okay, so they're basically regular dredge without stuff. Yeah, they're regular dredge without Faithless Looting, and obviously no Gax, but that's fine. Gak wasn't, like, in regular dredge, that wasn't that big of a player. They've hit a Conflagrate, which will probably kill my Stoneforge Mystic promptly. The only good news being that that takes most of their turn. They give me the option to waste it, which I will decline. Making them conflagrate it instead of my face later for like 11 is nice, I guess. Because with Life from the Loam, they can do gigantic conflagrates to close games really fast. Yeah, if they're failing at paying costs, that implies it's a spell with X in the name. And Delve, so... Not Delve, sorry, the thing. The thing that does the thing. Land. Nope. So, I'm going to go to clean up. Discard one voice. I'm assuming we're dead in the water here because this is like, we've done below average and they are currently, it's almost like game one for them, which Dredge is always heavily favoured because we haven't sideboarded correctly. The good news is we've got 3 rips for the last game. So one decision I made when building this deck was not to put Path to Exile in, because I didn't want... okay. I didn't want... I didn't want us to be an absolute... I didn't want us to be a bad Blood Moon deck, basically. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So I didn't put paths in. I used red removal. And the... have they got anything good to dredge? I wasn't really paying attention to what they just dredged. I assume it was that same Stinkweed Imp. Well, they didn't hit anything amazing in the graveyard. The 2 loams are obviously good, but... okay. Well, I'll take that. That seemed hasty. I did feel like we were in an okay spot because their dredge engine was failing. And I wonder if that's just a thing that happens now you don't have Faithless Looting. Like, they weren't anything like as explosive as regular dredge used to be, let alone Hogak. So maybe that's about... maybe R&D have got it right. Maybe the dredge deck still exists but isn't busted. Or maybe that opponent is barking up the wrong tree and it is just dead. A friend of mine who had a lot of success with Dredge has texted me this morning asking to borrow cards that would go in a fair Stoneforge deck, to give you an idea. So that's where he thinks the future lies. And I'd be inclined to trust him. He's smarter and better than me. Nice. Let's go. This league's been we've been zipping along. I would like to play first. I'll keep that. I think it's fine. It's not great. Jund, hopefully. Ooh, I'd like to play against Jund. Oh, well, that is a juicy, juicy Ren and 6 target if ever I've seen one. It's always a shit draw when you draw your Emrakul, but we can discard it. So what do we think? Do we think we're against Ponza or like Green Devotion? I hope it's Green Devotion. I hope they're going to try and tooth and nail us. That would be an absolute joy. My fear is that it's Ponza. Okay. Well, I'm glad we killed the Alba Elf because, yes, okay, this is great. More free Ren and 6 equity. They can go. Well, we've got good discards for our Nahiri. That is certainly true. Fine. I'm getting basic planes because of how their deck works. They're probably a 4 Blood Moon deck. Okay, well, Basic Mountain is like the worst land in the deck, but we're really well set up because we've got 2 green and 1 white to survive post Blood Moon. Tracker is obviously excellent, but we can kill it. They're going to deal 1 to Nahiri, which is annoying because it makes her ult slower, but whatever. I'm picking it. Yeah, I'm moaning about nothing here. We seem to be in an okay spot. That's amazing. This is just brutal. We have everything. Stoneforge? Okay, fine. Well, this is going good. We're under 0 pressure, because they do just kill with normal damage. The idea is that they restrict your mana, but it's hard to play land destruction against Ren and 6, to be fair. Okay, that is very good at controlling our Nahiri's loyalty. We probably have to do this. Probably should have done this first. Okay. They have to attack Nahiri, which is nice because it means we get to keep our Ren even though it's only on 2. They can't let us ult Nahiri. They've seen the Emrakul. They know what's coming. Yep. they play correctly. Okay, that's about as good as they could have done. Wow. Life is awesome. Can you beat that opponent? They cannot. Boom! Mid-range! That was as planned. So, stating the obvious, we're not playing our own Blood Moons. But maybe Direfleet Daredevils is red, so I can cast it if I somehow get stitched up by a Blood Moon. And, oh, Wear Tear, sure. What don't we want? Honestly, it's all really good. It seems like a nightmare for them. Okay. Oftentimes these red-green ramp decks play... yeah, this hand is good. They play the... what am I trying to say? Thingy package, the Karn Great Creator, and Mycosynth Lattice, so it's good to have an out to that. Yep, that's dead. That's always their best turn 1, because if they cast a Sprawl, they can just go bananas on turn 2. They can, like in the old version of, not this deck, but an old deck similar to this, that a friend of mine used to play, which was like a tooth and nail combo deck. Oh, man, this is an awkward turn. I've got to decide if I care enough to blow up that Sprawl or not. I don't think I do. Pia, oh, Chandra. Pretty good. Yep. Well, I'll take 2. Chandra is a good magic card. I'm fetching basic. I'm not doing it to thin. Sorry, I'm doing it to thin, not to save life, because obviously the timing. This is quite a good threat against that Chandra, because it yeah. It spreads out the power and toughness over bodies, so they can't just minus on it and kill it. Add red. Don't be Primeval Titan or something, or Inferno Titan is often one they play. Yeah, dead. Goodness me. Well, Fiery Justice being able to kill Planeswalkers might be worth having. Probably better than these, honestly. Big Chandra is a big problem. What a card. That is definitely, casting that early, that is going to win a mid-range matchup, isn't it? It's annoying not having a Noble Hierarch, but this hand is great. Be ridiculous to moan about it. Might as well pretend we can kill their Arbor Elf. They always have one because they've got like 12. They play 4 elves, 4 birds, and 4 Utopia sprawls. We don't want to see a sprawl. Okay, good. I was going to say, we don't want to see a sprawl because it's the only one we can't blow up. Pay 2. No, sorry. Shouldn't have even had to think about that. Crater Maker's helpful. Okay. If they Blood Moon us, we're ice cold. We're in trouble. Okay, good. That's fine as well. Oh, I really wanted to land. This is a totally dubious play. It might have been better to get back the land. Honestly. Look, we've still got 4 mana next turn. We've seen loads of their good stuff costs 4. Blood Moon is something that would screw us up right now. Pillage also screws us up. Although not really, honestly, not really. Why did I do that? That was just bad. Oh, come on, Chris. Come on, Chris. That was ridiculous. I meant to cast probably Crater Maker just to start having a presence. Okay, good. That's fine. Best thing we can draw is a land. So I need to remember to keep the 1 on 3. That was a good turn. Next turn we're going to Nahiri, exile that Utopia Sprawl, and now who's the land destruction deck? Let's hope they play more stupid X1s. This is like a Blood Moon. Or a Pillage. You got it, opponent. That does not matter one bit. They're using their spells to make me plus my Ren I would plus anyway. It's nonsense. Won't show them that we've got that. Let's get another basic. I'd scoop to this. Fine. That is fine. It's a bit annoying that we're all choked up and full of equipments, but I think we might win. Woo! Yeah, this is a monster in mid-range matchups. It's like sort of Jund on steroids. We don't like draw cards in as much as we're not casting Serum Visions. We're like gaining card advantage out of the graveyard or from Stoneforge or from Eternal Witness or whatever. But we draw so many cards. We make so many like medium creatures, and we're really good at interacting with most things. Another perfect hand. Life's amazing. Bob the dog gave Nassif. Nice. He's a good Magic player. Last time I seen him, he was playing like a Soul Herder deck. So if he's playing that against us, this should be really fun. Might just say hello, although he probably gets sick of this. Ooh, this is not Bant Soul Herder. Well, don't have any plans anymore. Fine. My hand is absurd. Take what you want. They take the Wren, which is probably correct. Nice. I'd say that's an upgrade. What have you got? Mardu Shadow? That's my first thought. They hit my Inquisition, my Helix. Thoughts he's my Nahiri? Oh, they push my Noble. Okay, that's fine, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, this looks like Mardu Shadow. I would say. Okay. See what he's getting. Maybe it's like a black-white mid-range deck. Well, as I was saying earlier, this deck is good in mid-range matchups, so we should be alright. I suppose the worst thing we can see would be like Hero's Downfall, your Nahiri or something. Sword of what? Fire and Ice, sure. Wow. Well, as Pleasant Kenobi always says, it is better to be lucky than good. Put him to 8. Not a peep, how rude. Can you interact with my Nahiri? Is basically all that matters. Okay, that resolves. Nice. Took a game off a Hall of Famer, top 5 of all time. Just saying, no big deal. Fiery Justice is looking real good. Daredevils look real good. Blood Moons. Just going to trim stuff because I don't think there's any one thing I don't want completely. Like all of it seems functional. Maybe this. Yeah, they're not doing much on my turn. They're basically a sorcery speed control deck, and so are we. Woo. Well, I'm starting to think this Naya deck has legs. I'm much happier with it than I was with my Jeskai version. It just feels better. Unfortunately, there's a few expensive cards I'll have to buy to build this in paper. I do not own Ren in 6s, and that's like £300 a playset now. So, there's that. But that aside, I basically own it. We need to get some Nahiris. Ugh. This is great. I love this deck. Like, look at it. Look at how fair it is. This is like... Obviously, there's an Emrakul, so it's only so fair. But, like, in games of Magic, I often find you have, like, good versus evil represented on the table. And, like, you know, you've got some poor guy with a Wild and Cattle getting absolutely blitzed by Hogak or something. And, maybe the only way this deck could be fairer would be if it had Wild and Cattles in it. But it's basically the fairest of them all. Well, the good news from my point of view is we've got 3 wins, so we're positive in the league regardless. I'll keep this hand. He's a creature deck. We've got removals for days. We've got an ooze to eat shit. And crucially, I do not like mulliganing against black-based control decks. Well, this is nice. That's an awful draw. I was going to say that it's nice because we can probably just bolt whatever his turn 2 play is, be it a Bob or a Stoneforge. I get where he's coming from with this deck. It looks really good. Just straight black-white mid-range control. All the best creatures. That is definitely one of the best creatures. What are they getting? Yeah. That thing's dead. It's a great draw. My Ooze is also probably dead. I suspect his turn will be 1 mana piece of interaction plus 2 mana threat. And I suspect long will it continue back and forth until one of us has nothing. Please don't be Liliana of the Veil. Nah, we can beat a Liliana. We can discard our Emrakul. Not worrying over nothing. We'll be fine. We are down on cards, but Night of Autumn should see to that. Oh, this is excellent. That's very fun. Land. Perfect. Never didn't have it. Gonna hold up my fetch. Might have a thing to bolt. That was super sweet. I've not seen Reign of Tears in some time. What a legend this guy is. He makes the fucking silliest decks. Yep. I'm going to give us a chance to draw Ren and 6. Oh, I'm so smart. I'm the smartest man alive. That was so smart. I'm a bit smug about that, because honestly, that was all I was thinking. Blessed Alliance? Cycle Unearth, okay. Yep. Yeah, Unearth's real bad when you've got no creatures. But it's a good card in general. That resolves. Don't care anymore. Yep. Yep. Well, I'm going to Night of Autumn and equipment. I hope it's the Batterskull. I hope they tap out for Batterskull. Perfect. Never been happier. This is an absolute caning. Yay! Nice. Yep. I should have got a land out my graveyard, that was a bit loose. Might have been bad to tap out of Lightning Helix mana, because now Lightning Helix is a dead card if he resolves a creature and equips. Alright. Bit bad for me. Basically fine. Absolutely fine, it turns out. So hopefully Nassif's turn now is play creature, try to equip, we kill creature on spot. Something like that. Nice. Boom. So we got a fairly comfortable 2-0 versus one of the best players of all time. Not going to go on about that for ages. Let's let that one go, Chris. It's not that special. Yeah, that went great. Deck is awesome. There's basically... This deck is so good. There's work to be done, but like basically every part pulled some weight during that league at some point. I'm very happy with it. I need to do a bit more work on it, but like this is my current favourite Stoneforge shell that I've played, although I've only played a few. It was real bad in Devoted Druid combo. It was pretty okay in Jeskai. I'm hearing good things about it in Blue, White and Bant. So, yeah, it remains to be seen what is good, but this is certainly good. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And, yeah, stay tuned for more bad Stoneforge Mystic decks.